Meanwhile, the JSC says it's not aware of Hlophe's resignation. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo is live for us now with the latest after that briefing from day one of proceedings at the JSC. Ziyanda, good evening to you. So, quick highlights from that media briefing. What stood out for you?
Well, I do think it's important to highlight that they're not saying that particularly they're not aware, but they've only been made aware of this through the media, and they're waiting for official communication from the National Assembly Speaker. And this is where all the attention is now going to turn to, Xoli, because if you think about it, there's still questions now around composition. At the time when Judge Hlophe, former impeached Judge Hlophe, was barred from participating in these proceedings, the argument was that the composition won't be affected because his membership still stayed in place. Now that he's resigned in totality, it means that there isn't any representation by the MK party, and perhaps then there might be an issue of composition. This is why then you would have heard from the JSC spokesperson, Sesi Baloyi, talking about the fact that, well, if the National Assembly Speaker responds to them, they'd have to call an urgent meeting to deliberate then on what that communication would have, or what consequences that communication would have on this gathering that's set to take place all the way until next Wednesday. Remembering as well that the interviews for a new judge president in the Western Cape High Court Division is set to take place by Monday. So at this stage, however, the JSC maintains that they have full composition, as has been outlined in that Western Cape High Court judgment, which basically had taken into consideration the consequences of Hlophe's absence. But his resignation is something different altogether. And this is why then a response from National Assembly Speaker will be crucial in figuring out what happens next over the next couple of days.
Quickly, Ziyanda, how much should be read into the non-appearance of Commissioner Malema at today's proceedings?
Well, there were questions around whether or not this is perhaps as a form of protest against the JSC after also not acceding to the request by the MK party to postpone this gathering. But it's unclear at this stage why Mr. Malema was not part of that sitting, as communicated by Sesi Baloyi, that the Chief Justice, who's of course the chairperson of this commission, has not received any communication. He wasn't physically here, nor was he on the online platform. But at this stage, all we know is that he was not here, and they're yet to get reasons as to why this is the case.